Stephen Curry was part of that pitch meeting. I'm told the plan in that scenario would have been for her to be a part of Under Armour and Curry brand and possibly wear Curry brand. Steph Curry actually FaceTimed into the meeting, talked to
the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into, there's a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
Have you reached out to her at all? Or?
I have.
Caitlin Clark is taking the WNBA by storm, but her biggest sponsor is mysteriously silent. Despite signing her to a record-breaking $28 million deal, Nike has done almost nothing to promote her, no major campaigns, no commercials, and still no sign of her promised signature shoe. After putting her front and center in a high-profile college ad that helped launch her star power, Nike's absence now is baffling. This deal was meant to be a defining moment for women's sports marketing, the largest endorsement ever for a female basketball player, but instead, Nike risks squandering a once-in-a-generation opportunity. As Clark continues to break records and electrify fans, the silence from her sponsor is impossible to ignore. Is Nike playing the long game, or simply missing the moment? Since draft night, the swoosh has barely lifted a finger. Beyond letting Clark wear customized shoes, there's been no promotion, no viral content, no presence on their main social channels. Even after she was named Rookie of the Year, their acknowledgement was a generic, delayed tweet, cold and underwhelming for the season she delivered. For a company that revolutionized basketball marketing, failing to support Clark in real time is confounding. The promised signature shoe remains absent, with no release date, teaser, or hype. In the WNBA, signature sneakers are almost non-existent, only a handful of players have ever had one, and just 2 active players currently have shoes on shelves. By delaying Clark's debut, Nike isn't just waiting, they're signaling that they don't fully believe in the commercial potential of women's basketball. Contrast that with Victor Wembanyama, who reportedly signed a $100 million Nike deal and received a signature shoe as a rookie. The resources are there. Nike, once a pioneer in shaping sports culture with Air Jordan and other legends, seems to have lost that boldness. Veteran sports journalist Jason Whitlock puts it plainly, Nike used to own the moment. With Caitlin Clark, they are letting it slip away, and the cost could be massive.
Clark's in her first NBA playoffs, first NBA season, and she's wearing Kobe Bryant's shoes. They don't even have a shoe for her, and it may not be till 2026, 2027. LeBron James had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this.
Some will argue that designing a signature shoe simply takes time. But veteran journalist Jason Whitlock isn't buying it, and neither should you. When Nike wants to move fast, it can. The delay in launching Caitlin Clark's shoe isn't about logistics, it's about priorities. And clearly, Clark wasn't treated like a priority. Despite signing her to a massive deal, Nike seemed content to wait and watch, as if her college dominance didn't already prove she could thrive in the pros. By the time she started posting jaw-dropping stats and leading Indiana toward the playoffs, it was too late to get a shoe in stores before the season ended. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Nike, once bold, fearless, and visionary, now appears hesitant, risk-averse, and behind the moment. Clark didn't have to stay with Nike coming out of college. She had plenty of offers, but she stayed, likely out of loyalty, familiarity, and trust. She had a relationship with the brand from her Iowa days and loved their shoes, and yet, despite being one of the biggest names in women's basketball, she got almost nothing in return. No launch, no promotional push, no spotlight, just hand-me-down Cobes with a fresh paint job. Considering the WNBA's 4-year salaries barely reach $300,000, endorsement deals like this are crucial. Clark showed faith in Nike. Did they take her loyalty for granted?
Pretty cool. It's got I feel like it's fever, but it's also Iowa, so you get the best of both worlds. I have another one that you'll probably see me wear later on that is even more fever, so just wait.
When Caitlin Clark weighed her options, Nike's offer seemed like a no-brainer. The swoosh is the biggest name in basketball shoes, the home of Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, worn by the league's top stars, men and women alike. So when Nike came through with the largest shoe deal in women's basketball history, it felt destined. Clark signed on the dotted line, Stepping into the footsteps of legend, the deal wasn't just about money, it was a cultural milestone, signaling that women's sports were finally getting the recognition they deserved. Mainstream outlets hailed it as a breakthrough, with ABC perfectly capturing the moment when Nike made it official.
Is sold out, you could soon buy her shoes. The Wall Street Journal is reporting she signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike for a signature shoe line. It's the biggest known deal for a women's basketball player and would make her only the 4th WNBA player with.
Nike's $28 million deal with Caitlin Clark looked enormous on paper, but in hindsight, it might be the steal of the decade. Competing brands barely made a dent. Adidas reportedly lowballed with a mere $6 million, showing little appetite to invest in women's basketball at that scale. Puma pulled out entirely once the bidding war heated up, unwilling to take the risk. Under Armour came the closest, offering $16 million over 4 years, a higher annual payout than Nike, but without the long-term security Clark was clearly seeking. For a rookie making just $76,000 a year in the WNBA, that security mattered. It guaranteed stability in a league where salaries barely scratched 6 figures and allowed her to focus on the game instead of finances. Still, there's a flip side. By locking herself into an 8-year contract at just 22 years old, Clark may have left tens of millions on the table. No player in women's basketball has ever had a deal this big, and the scale alone made headlines. But Clark isn't simply another athlete cashing in on hype. She's transforming the WNBA from the inside out, driving television ratings, selling out arenas, and drawing new fans who might never have tuned in otherwise. She's not just a league icon, she's becoming a cultural phenomenon, a generational talent whose influence stretches far beyond basketball, and yet, by comparison, even elite NBA stars, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and others, earn more per year than Clark's entire 8-year deal. The contrast is striking, not because Clark is less talented, but because women's sports have historically been undervalued. If she continues her meteoric rise, dominating on the court and capturing national attention, she will unquestionably deserve to be in that conversation with the most marketable athletes in the world. As Dan Patrick noted, Clark isn't just a star, she's a movement. She doesn't follow trends, she creates them, carving a path for young athletes who dream of turning talent into influence and visibility, and that's why it's so perplexing that Nike, the company that built an empire by betting on young legends and shaping basketball culture, seems slow to fully back her. The deal was intended to be historic, a statement that women's basketball is commercially viable, culturally important, and deserving of the same investment as men's sports. Yet the rollout has been cautious at best. Signature shoes haven't dropped, campaigns are minimal, and social media presence is muted, all while Clark continues to dominate games and capture headlines. For a player redefining her sport in real time, Nike's hesitation feels less like prudence and more like a missed opportunity.